Hi, this is Tanya Francine with the National Weather Service Skywarn program, reminding you to keep an eye to the sky and listen to the XJ Talk Show.
Hey, if this isn't your first pre-show, XJ Talk pre-show, you know the drill. We get here a little early. We talk about what things are going to be on the show, kind of between Josh and I, and then we get it rolling. Sometimes at the top of the hour, sometimes at the bottom of the hour. It's going to be anywhere in between. Good evening, Josh. Oh, Josh is talking, but I can't hear him. Now I can hear him.
There I am. Evening, everybody. Tony Filziano here. I'm finishing up show notes and get everything ready for tonight's show. So stick around. Should have a good time tonight.
Oh, we are doing live calls tonight. That number, in case you'd like to go ahead and call in. You can actually listen to the show over the conference call. That number is 267-507-0240. And then you'll put in your 6-digit conference code number, 219835. So 267-507-0240. Then when prompted, 219835. I got things to close up and big heavy moving blankets to hang, so kind of muffle some of the background noise and get this green screen set properly and get the nice bright light on. So I'll be right back.
This is Brian Myers from JC Off-Road, and I just been overhauled. You're listening to XJ Talk Show.
I think I'm going to bitch about discount tires tonight.
All right. Hey, I don't know if you saw my last little chat there. I got a bad echo on my side, so I want to call you back one more time.
Okay.
And hopefully 3 times the charm. Hey, that sounds much, much better.
So you were hearing yourself echoing?
Yes.
So I have a little disclaimer to play at the front of the show tonight.
Okay.
Let's see. Make sure I got it up here.
Warning, the 2 yahoos you are about to hear are not trained professionals.
Huh. Let me make sure I got the right preset.
Oh, we got some great YouTube subscriber names tonight. Had a couple easy weeks, and now we're going to pay for it.
Yeah, that's okay. We had quite a bit of a lull there without any new subscribers. We hit 499, then 500, and then all of a sudden 503, and then just kind of nothing for a couple of days. I think we're at 505 now. I don't see him. I'm on to. Oh, I do see him. I have them at the very front because that's what they're where they should be played. Well, I guess I'll play this really quick so you'll know what to expect.
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I'm wondering why it's not going. Didn't have it selected, that's why.
Like a nuclear explosion just happened over there. Boom.
The XJ Talk Show is for entertainment purposes only. Any advice or information provided on this show should be verified by alternative sources prior to making any changes or modifications to your vehicle. We are not experts, just people that enjoy the Jeep hobby and don't mind talking endlessly about it. P.S. We love you.
Very good.
So
Very good.
We'll do that at the front of the show, and
so you want to do that before music or anything, right?
Yeah, that'll be at the very front.
Okay.
So I guess like disclaimer.
Yeah.
On the show notes.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of them, so that way we have something to pick from different every week, at least every other week.
I was a little late in getting into the studio this evening, but the opener should be posting up or has posted up to you.
I'll have a look. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to pull the audio and boost it for the Radiocom Tech segment. We can play it, and I can just try to boost the audio on the board or on the processor over here, and then do all that stuff, all the correction of the audio later in post?
It's up to you. I mean, that just means more editing on the downside of things. But I don't think John would be too terribly upset if we didn't get to it this week. And
did we tease that last week? I thought we did.
We did. So we probably should get to it. I don't suppose do we have a Wrangler segment?
Nope.
Okay.
We ain't got nothing. I've got those ones from Steve, the Jeep tips segments, but they are quadruple speed.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Thought you guys worked out the bugs on that one.
Well, I think the idea was I was supposed to call him and record it my own damn self. That was how we're going to... I think that's how Steve decided we were going to work out the bugs.
That's funny. Do we have any reviews this week?
Have not looked.
All right.
Let me see if I can find your audio intro. And then I'll have a look. $52A?
Yes.
This just into the XJ Talk Show News Desk. This just into the XJ Talk Show News Desk. Giant spaghetti monsters.
Okay. Quick little YouTube, I'm sorry, not YouTube, XJ Talk Show video. Looks good. Hi, guys. So as I mentioned earlier, we are doing live calls tonight. Anybody that would like to call in, we'll take a little break and in amongst our segments here and talk to you guys on the phone. That number is 267-507-0240, 219-835, and those phone lines are open now, so you can call in and actually listen to the show on your phone. That number again is 267-507-0240, and then you'll be asked to enter a conference code, which is 219-835. We'll have that number at the bottom of the screen, scrolling across at the bottom shortly. I was going to have a look and see if we've got any reviews.
And you said just the two voicemails for tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A little surprised, too. I thought we would have at least one other one.
Well, I was expecting one that explained how I was Batman or something. I thought that was coming one of these weeks.
Did you ever watch that animated GIF I put up under your name?
Yeah, freaking hilarious, man.
It really stirred up the group.
Yeah.
Actually, I think some of them were more shaken than stirred.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, whoa. Who is that guy dancing?
Yeah, like I said, I think I told you in chat or something. I hope you don't mind me posting that up as you. I just thought it'd be a lot funnier if it was...
yeah, that's all in good fun, man. Now, if you had done something inappropriate or, posted up something that was flaming somebody or something like that, then that'd be one thing. But no, that's harmless fun.
All fun going along with the show.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, I think, let's see. We have April 24th, which was 80-mile round trip from work every day. I remember that one, right? El Grox?
Yeah.
And then we have one from, I just found this show this week and it has been stuck in my ear for 3 days. That sounds new to me. That was from May the 8th.
Yeah, I don't think we got to that one.
It's only the 15th. So yeah, that is a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to type that one in since I really don't have time to capture an image and everything else. The hell is that H doing there? The second voicemail is very short.
Okay.
Just going to have a quick look over here at Stitcher. We're at 3902 in our Stitcher list ranking. We're in 51 playlists. No, we still have the same two, yet very nice reviews on Stitcher. I don't think they have anything like that on TuneIn. I'm going to look at that real quick.
All right.
Do we already have I don't think we do, a Memorial Day promo or something?
I thought I did something last year. I'm going to have to go through my own archives and find out. I thought we had something. I could have sworn I did something. Because that'll be, well, that's not this coming Monday. It's a week from Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
thinking about it well ahead of time.
Right.
I do not see anything on here. Did you see that link that I sent you a few days back? It could have been 4 days back.
Or the, not speak pipe, smash pipe or something like that.
Yeah, it seems like there was a pipe involved, but basically it was a bunch of YouTube videos. It looked like they were collecting YouTube videos and putting it together on a web page.
Oh, is that what it was?
And I got this.
The link that you popped up was just basically a full screen player of one of the XJ Talk Show episodes.
Yeah, it was really big. But if you scrolled down, it had all of our YouTube videos from their shows and other things from YouTube. Like they were, it's like they took YouTube and reformatted it for their stuff and put it under their website.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've got a Google word search active for XJ Talk Show, and I saw it come up in the email and I went okay, and I clicked on it and I saw our show starts playing, and I went okay. I'm like, well, that's really big because it was the whole screen.
I opened it up, like, well, that's pretty big.
And so anyway, I thought it was kind of cool that we were being featured on there. I don't know if they're doing that all the YouTube videos, or they're selecting what they're putting on there. But I thought that was good.
I'd like to think that we're their favorite.
I'm sure we are.
Oh yeah.
If it was Grandma's site, it would be.
All right, buddy. I am pretty much good to go as far as show notes go. We're gonna have to do some filler tonight, I think, but yeah, I think we should be all right.
We're up to it. We're always up to it. So we can have fun with the Amazon You Bought What. Don't need to get in and out of that real quick if it starts getting boring.
And that's kind of a shorter offering than we normally have up in the show notes, so we could probably go through just about every one of those items and be good.
Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and mention here real quick that we do have our call-in lines open tonight, and since we don't have a lot of stuff scheduled for the show, you're more than likely to get in on the show tonight if you call in. That number is...
We're going to encourage it.
Yeah, that number is 267-507-0240. That number once again, 267-507-0240. And then you will put in this conference code, 219835. 219835. And like I said earlier, it will be at the bottom of the screen during the show. You'll hear us talking. You'll get a little announcement from the automated lady on the conference call whenever you have been unmuted. In other words, that's what your cue that we're talking to you. So, actually, I'm going to go ahead and mute the conference room now.
Conference muted.
And that's the voice that you'll probably hear, something similar to that whenever she's telling you what's going on. And it's kind of cool. There was no noise. You couldn't even tell that thing was going, could you, Josh?
Yeah, no, I didn't even know you had it up and queued and going. So that's pretty good. I like that.
Just had to turn off the entry notice. All right, I am going to roll the disclaimer and then the music, and then you can do your Audible Books thing.
You got it.
Just trying to get my show notes where I can see them. And remember, if you hear this...
It's a Jeep podcast, fellas.
We need to move along. You know how it is. It's like, well, we don't have much tonight. We'll have to do a lot of filler. And then, it's 58 minutes and 59 seconds. And I'm sending you messages on the chat.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Come on.
And then as soon as you wrap it up and stop talking, I start talking. And you're thinking, didn't he say we were out of time? All right, here we go.
All right.
The XJ Talk Show is for entertainment purposes only. Any advice or information provided on this show should be verified by alternative sources prior to making any changes or modifications to your vehicle. We are not experts, just people that enjoy the Jeep hobby and don't mind talking endlessly about it. P.S. We love you.
This just into the XJ Talk Show news desk. Giant spaghetti monster seen near Elvis Memorial licking a new Cherokee. For the full report, stay tuned till after the show.
Hey Jeepers, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/xjtalkshow.
XJ Talk Show is on the air. Okay, it's a podcast. Oh, you know what I mean. Anyway, here's Tony and Josh.
Hey, it's episode 129 of the XJ Talk Show. I'm Tony, and hey, this is Josh.
Hey, I am Josh. You can find me as NW99XJ or Northwest99XJ over at xjtalk.com.
And I'm Mutteroy, the infamous, easy for me to say. During that disclaimer, I was having problems saying endlessly. I said it perfectly then. I bet you I had to record it 5 or 6 times before I got it right. And even then, I just gave up and said that was close enough. I don't know what happens with these lips. As Robin Williams once said, rented lips. That's all I can come up with.
I can't tell you how many times I've done multiple takes of recordings in here in my studio for various little things, so I know how it goes.
Yeah, it's a shame. I guess it's when you're thinking too hard about it. I have the same problem when I'm going down a flight of stairs. If I think about what I'm doing, I'll miss a step.
And see, I have the problem going upstairs. I'm probably the only person that can fall up a flight of stairs.
I think I've done that too, so don't feel like you're all by yourself there, Josh.
Well, hey guys, we got a huge show for you guys tonight. All kinds of stuff. Tony and I are going to probably talk at length about all kinds of stuff, including some carnage that I had suffered on my Jeep. So we'll get to that here a little bit later in the show.
Man, what are you doing with that Jeep? You're supposed to build it in such a way where that doesn't happen. I don't know, Josh.
Thought I did.
Yeah, I guess that is the case, isn't it? So, I just want to let you guys know this is the XJ Talk Show. It's a podcast about Jeep Cherokees, off-roading, and the tech that you need to get you there and back. We're here to promote the web's most premier website for all that is Jeep Cherokee, xjtalk.com. The friendliest and most helpful site on the web. xjtalk.com encourages and answers all the questions and concerns that the first-time XJ owner typically has without the flaming or criticism, all while giving you the best, most in-depth articles and write-ups for repairs and modifications that take your average XJ to the next level. Now get ready. It's the XJ Talk Show, and it starts right now.
First Week in Jeep.
Well, this is normally part of the show where I go on for about 10 or 15 minutes bashing the new Jeep that the Chrysler Fiat Corporation has just released. Well, I'm not going to do that this week. In fact, there's really not a whole lot going on in the Jeep world right now. Internationally, global auto sales markets are all abuzz, anxiously awaiting the release of the 2015 Jeep Renegade, as it's supposed to be one of the leading global markets as far as auto sales go here in the coming year. Meanwhile, here in the States, the 2014 Jeep Cherokee has seen record sales for a new vehicle launch. We'll see how long this wave lasts as the new Cherokee is looking towards a facelift in 2016. Now, fourwheeler.com has done a great write-up on what it takes to put a long arm lift on an XJ, and it points out some of the do's and don'ts during install and gives some pointers as far as tire selections go, along with a new lift. You want to check it out? Head over to fourwheeler.com. It's actually got some pretty cool pics. Carbuzz.com this week has posted up a great homage to the XJ. The crew over there must be real big fans of the Cherokee, as their tribute to our beloved XJs is one of the best I've seen since the launch of the new 2014 Jeep Cherokee. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, I highly encourage you guys to head over to carbuzz.com and look at their news section for cool pics, even some jumping Cherokees, and a little blast from the past with a video review of the 1999 Jeep Cherokee. All cool stuff on an otherwise slow Jeep week in news. Hey, if you'd like to submit a story to be aired on This Week in Jeep, and I would highly encourage you to do so, or you have a response to any one of the stories that I have mentioned here on This Week in Jeep, please send an email to newstips@xjtalk.com.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tap a Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix.
My favorite site is xjtalk. xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
We here at the XJ Talk Show really appreciate you listening to our podcast. If you enjoy the show, please consider sharing it with a friend. It's so easy. Just tell them to go to xjtalkshow.com.
And now we get to share a little love with our new YouTube subscribers.
Yep, we've got a list that grows and grows every week, and we only pick 4 out of the list in no particular order every week. And so if you guys have joined recently and you don't hear your name, stick around. We'll get to it eventually. Got 4 this weekend, topping out on the list, and again, no particular order. This one's an interesting one, so I'm just going to take a wild guess, and it's AK Jam Magica.
Good enough. And I've got Greg Headu.
Yeah, and this one is KOOPK !LL, or what I have assumed is Coop Kill.
I think you're right there, Josh. Oh, and I got the lucky name here, Chris Watson.
Hey guys, keep up those subscriptions, and we highly encourage you guys to tell a friend. That's right, we enjoy the subscriptions over there at youtube.com/xjtalk.
505 subscribers. Thanks, guys.
Really appreciate it.
Amazon.com and the XJ Talk Show present You Bought What?
All right, Josh, let the audience know what the hell this is all about.
Well, guys, this is something we do every other week. It's a lot of fun. We've got this great relationship set up with Amazon.com. And you guys, if you don't know about Amazon.com, you got to check it out. But you got to cruise over to xjtalkshow.com first, or xjtalk.com, and click on the Amazon banner right there on the main page. It'll pop you straight over to Amazon.com, one of the biggest online shopping places you could possibly go to find virtually anything that you could possibly want, or that we could find something funny to talk about. And that's what it's all about, guys. You guys do your online shopping, clicking through one of our sites first. Amazon gives us a small little kickback. It's a great way for you guys to support the show. You don't pay a single penny more, not a red cent. In addition to that, Amazon has agreed to give us a little list of what you guys have been buying. And it's a lot of fun. You guys throw us some curveballs every now and again. We don't get to see who's buying what, and that's what all the fun is. So if you guys like to, throw us a pair of crotchless panties every now and again, or, some of that bacon salt, hey, no problem. We'll throw it up on the list and get it up on the air and have some fun with it with Amazon. You bought what?
Wait a minute, Josh. I think you came up on a really good colorful combination there. Crotchless panties and baking salt, because everything needs flavoring. Hey, so I recently got this off of Amazon.com. Let me see if I can get it here in front of the camera properly. Gee, man, this is worse than getting in front of the mirror. So it doesn't quite fit.
Well, I hope you're not talking about crotchless panties. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything on the YouTube feed. So hopefully, we're broadcasting video, and the rest of our viewers can see what you're holding up there, Tony.
You need to tell me about that sooner, Josh. So
I didn't know.
well, there was a nice picture of us, static picture of us. Anyway, this is the thing here.
What is
I can't quite fit it in there. Anyway,
what is it? Was in podcast land.
Anyway, I'll read it. It's the Jeep Cherokee Advanced Performance Modifications, 1984 to 2001. This is by our friend and XJ Talk member Eric Zappi.
Yeah, guys, he's got he's got one other book out there as well. It's basically what most of us would call the XJ Builder's Bible. It's a great builder's guide, tons of good advice, great tech, a lot of good pictures, and I can only imagine the second edition. Well, it's not a second edition of a book; it's a completely different release, and it takes things to the next level from what I've heard. I don't have this book yet myself. Mine's on the way, so it should be here any day now. And hopefully when I get mine, boy, that's going to take a top shelf spot on my reading list. So I can't wait to get a hold of that.
I'm going to put both of mine on the coffee table. See if the wife makes me move out to the garage.
Yeah, mine spent probably its first year of its life on the coffee table as I between there and the throne room, as it were, because it got read quite a bit.
Excellent. All right, man. You want to take the first one?
Yeah, let's get into this. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just kind of keep cruising down through this list. It's all kind of by category and stuff, and in no particular order, guys. We got a couple in here in the automotive department. Here it's a couple of complete strut assemblies. In fact, it's got a pretty big SKU number. That model number is pretty big. I couldn't possibly begin to tell you what model of vehicle it's for, but it's a strut assembly. They picked up 2 of them through Amazon.com to hook up the front of their car.
And let's see, we got a lens replacement kit, glass cover lens for a GoPro HD Hero 2. That wasn't yours, was it, Josh?
No, that's not mine. I definitely have. I've got the Hero 3, and so, but nonetheless, that's somebody out there is well. They probably damaged theirs up on the trail or something like that. Got some mud, some dirt up on there, scratched the lens all up, and well, they needed a replacement for it. Waterproof case, nonetheless. That's good for out here in the Northwest where we got all kinds of rain.
I'll go out on a limb. They may have gotten some baking salt on it.
Oh, there's a chance.
And scratched it with some vigorous and friction heat,
Oh, geez. Now, this is something, speaking of heat, now this is something you probably wouldn't want to create too much friction with. So this is Wasabi. Oh, it's a power battery pack.
Yeah.
It's a 2-pack for the GoPro Hero 2. Now, I saw Wasabi, and I got all excited in there and stuff because I do like me some Wasabi.
You were focusing on the thing that you like. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Well,
I have no idea what this is. It's a health and personal care.
I know what this is.
Natol? Is it Natrol?
Natrol. It's a melatonin, 10 milligrams.
And it's strawberry.
Strawberry flavored nonetheless.
I don't know. You're not supposed to eat a bunch of those, are you? Because it shouldn't taste that good.
You wouldn't want to eat a whole bunch of melatonin is the chemical that the body releases to help you ease into your sleep cycle. So if you guys are having problems falling asleep, then find yourself a little bit of melatonin and you will have a good night's sleep. Trust me.
I'm thinking they would sell more of it if they call it water melatonin.
Oh, geez.
I love watermelon, Oh, God.
Yeah, we don't need any overdoses going on now. Well, speaking of flavors and scents, this is the Enoz lavender-scented mothball packets. That's not something that I would probably want to swallow, eat, or even put in my soup. So, but nonetheless, lavender mothball packets. It must be going in the closet.
That's going to be a tedious job, removing mothballs and putting it into packets. So...
Boy, you're on one tonight, Tony.
As my youngest son would say, dad jokes. So anyway, they got a next one here, which is the Kirkland Signature Omega-3 Fish Oil Concentrates, 400 soft gels, and God, they need to be soft. 1,000 milligram fish oil with 30% omega. So yeah, somebody here is a health conscious person that's watching our show. Go figure.
Well, now here's one near and dear to my heart in the mobile electronics field. And this is definitely a field that I enjoy, that I have a lot of experience in. I actually had a little bit of a dealing with a Cherokee in the mobile electronic field. I'll tell you guys that story here in just a little while. But this is a Pyramid 8-gauge ground wire, 25-foot in the brown variety. And it looks like somebody is, hooking themselves up a little amplifier or maybe doing some under hood rewiring.
Ooh, a 180-piece rubber grommet shop assortment. That certainly would come in handy, running some wires, running some lines to your off-road lights, and maybe some rock lights too.
No, this one's interesting because, not every rod needs a bracket, but in case it does, you get a John Sterling heavy-duty shelf and rod bracket in bronze.
And what is this? A Q Workshop polyhedral 7-die set carved steampunk die set. Oh, now that's where the part that's the part where I understand what it is when I see a steampunk die set. That's Sports and Outdoors. Man, how do you? I got to look that up. How do you steampunk a die set?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I know who that went to. I recently saw on the xjtalk.com chat room that somebody had purchased some dice for a little bit of not R&D, a role-playing game. I was going to say R&D, D&D, but that sort of thing. But steampunk die set, I wonder what that's like because, I definitely like the steampunk kind of stuff, all kinds of kind of cool retro-esque sci-fi type stuff. Anyways, really cool purchase there. Hopefully we can get some pictures of that up on xjtalk.com and in one of our forum sections there. This one here is, I'm not sure exactly what this is, but it's a Halex 90513 1-inch non-metallic clamp connector. And this is in the tools and hardware section, so I'm not sure exactly what that would be clamping or what it would be connecting even.
Well, it was $1.05, so it's probably something really basic and simple. And actually, it may have been bought by the same person that got the rubber grommets, because if you're going to run a line, it's nice to have it tight up against the body and not flopping around.
Well, in the second to the last item, Tony, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this one out there, is basically just an 1.25-inch variety of the same thing. So whatever person is out there purchasing some tools and hardware through Amazon, we definitely appreciate the click-through on one of our sites. Thank you very much.
And then the final item is a Ultra Hardware shelf bracket, pack of 20. That's a lot of shelf brackets. I wonder if somebody's put some stuff up in the shop.
Somebody is hooking up their garage. I remember seeing on one of our last shows that somebody got a pegboard set and some other stuff for doing some tool organization and stuff. So I know we do have a thread of show us your garage type of thing over on xjtalk.com. And there's a lot of really nice garages. Guys out there have some really cool workspaces to do some tinkering on their Jeep. So, hey, if you're listening to the show right now and, well, these are your items, definitely show us some pics of these things in action. We'd like to see what you're doing to your garage.
Yeah, and guys, we sure do appreciate you taking the time to go over to Amazon and buy stuff. But first, going to our site and clicking on the Amazon banner.
We just found out what you bought.
Oh my God, I just can't believe that made it on the list.
You already know about XJ Talk on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. But did you know we're on YouTube as well? We have off and on-road adventures, how-tos for fixing or augmenting your Jeep. Besides, man cannot live by sound alone, right? Come see what we got at youtube.com/user/XJTalk. Don't forget to subscribe and make comments on our videos.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
We here at the XJ Talk Show really appreciate you listening to our podcast. If you enjoy the show, please consider sharing it with a friend. It's so easy. Just tell them to go to xjtalkshow.com.
Well, and Josh, we need that chit-chat intro thing we were talking about. This is one of our favorite segments, guys, because Josh and I do like our talking.
Yeah, we do, and I've got some stuff to talk about. So you guys know that my Honda saga has recently had a new chapter added to it. I'm not going to go into that, but long story short, my Honda's been stolen twice in the last 5.5 months or so. And the last time I got it, it was semi-stripped. I didn't have any wheels and tires. Well, apparently that trend has continued as a buddy of mine, a fellow Jeeper, he's on his second Cherokee now, and he got himself a late model finally, another 99. It's red, in fact, Tony. And, he's doing a long arm lift kit on it. He's got it up on 33s right now. His Jeep got broken into the other night. And he called me up. He's like, hey, man, this stuff happened. And it was really weird, too, because he had tools in it. He had amplifier, sub, a nice stereo in there, some cords and stuff for hooking up, iPhone and charging cell phone and stuff. I mean, CDs, a whole bunch of stuff that, any run-of-the-mill thief would have probably taken to the pawn shop right away. Well, they didn't take any of that. The only thing they took was a Leatherman tool out of his center console. Kind of weird. They rifled his lock and everything, really screwed up the side of his Jeep, punching in that door lock and everything, or prying it open. I don't know exactly what they did. It looks pretty bad nonetheless. But they broke into his Jeep. They only stole one thing and left a whole bunch of other stuff that was worth a lot more money. Kind of weird. And he called me up. I was at work that day. And he told me the whole story and everything. And he's like, I need to get an alarm. Can you point me in the right direction? Well, having worked for, a decade in the mobile electronics field, I, of course, had the knowledge and the connections and everything else to help him out, at least get him pointed in the right direction. And that's just what I did. I told him, okay, this is what you're going to be looking for. You want to stay away from this. You want to look for that sort of thing. Got him the advice he needed. He did some shopping around on his own, got himself a good deal on an alarm. And I rushed over there after work and put it in for him. And really hooked him up, got him all the bells and whistles. Now his Jeep is really protected, has, a great visual deterrent with the red flashing light and a really powerful siren underneath the hood. His Jeep is not likely to get broken into again. So I was a little bit of mobile electronics in my own life here recently, dealing with a buddy who unfortunately had some bad stuff happen to his Cherokee. So moving along, I actually had my Cherokee up on the mountain again, went wheeling 2 weeks in a row. Kind of cool, right? Well, unfortunately, I was heading up there to meet up with some of the other NAXTR crew, the North American XJ Association, the Northwest chapter specifically. And how it ended up being is I was supposed to go up there Friday night after work, do some camping and stuff. A few other people had bailed out at the last minute. I decided I didn't really want to go up and camp in the rain, so I decided to stay home that night. I would just catch up with everybody else in the morning. So I left the house bright and early. Got in the Jeep, got it all loaded up and everything, and headed out for the mountain. I got up there, probably about 5 or 10 minutes later than I wanted to. I had to stop and get some gas and everything, kind of put me back behind schedule just a little bit. But I got up there into the staging area, and nobody was there. I kind of did a quick run around a couple of the other staging areas, couldn't find anybody. So I was figuring, okay, I'll just air down really quick and head up on the trails and see if I can't catch up with them. I know the typical trail runs that people go on. So I figured at some point, if I run, X, Y, and Z trails, I'm bound to run into somebody sooner or later. So I aired down, got up onto the trails, and I was about 3 trails in. Everything was going pretty good. And this was a fairly easy trail. I'm not going to say it was a moderate difficulty trail. Definitely something that if you had, 3 inches of lift and 31s, you could easily conquer. A stock XJ probably would not have made it through, but nonetheless, I was out there wheeling. I was having some fun. Well, about 3/4 of the way through the trail or so, I noticed that my steering response was starting to diminish quite rapidly. And I was having to 3-point turn and then sometimes even 5-point turn just about every tight corner on the trail. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I limped it down the rest of the trail, doing kind of the Austin Powers turn, going 8 times to make a 90-degree corner, and finally got down to the bottom of the trailhead and got up onto a, area of the logging roads out there to where I could, get the Jeep into a stationary position and where it was safe and not off camber and out of the way and everything else. And I started, poking around and looking around. Climb underneath the Jeep, and I'm looking, and I didn't see anything right off the bat. I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? So I grab the steering wheel, and I start working the steering wheel back and forth. And as I do so, I watch the entire front end of the Jeep shift over the front axle about a foot in either direction. I knew instantly that there was something going on with my track bar. So upon further investigation, I found that the track bar had actually mostly sheared off of the frame. The mount had sheared off of the frame. By frame, I mean the unibody, of course. Now, what had happened was during my, as Tony has put it, a 52-ton steering system that I have put on the Jeep, and it's just basically a 1-ton over-the-knuckle steering system that I've hooked up to my Durango steering box. The steering box is reinforced. It's got an inner C-Rock frame brace as well as a homebrew steering box brace that ties it into the opposite side. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but the rough stuff panhard bar kit that I have that was welded to the frame is in an area where there's a piece of metal. There's 3 layers of sheet metal that comprise the unibody in that area, and it had basically peeled that one layer clean off of the other 2, which it's all just held together with spot welds. And so it's 1/4-inch steel that's welded to 16-gauge sheet metal for all intents and purposes. That's really all it was, and relying on the spot welds of that whole area to hold it all together. Now, it's just one piece of metal that kind of has one little flange on it that goes underneath of where the motor mount bracket is on the driver's side, and this is where the stock track bar would have ordinarily mounted to. This was a weld-on, an aftermarket unit, and basically what it did is over time something had happened. I'm thinking it's just because that area is already weak. I do wheel fairly hard. I'm in some fairly advanced rock crawling and some heavy duty trails. And, it's more than just a pleasure cruise through the woods. I do put my Jeep through its paces. And chances are there's a lot of flex in that area. And the track bar bracket over time just kind of worked that metal loose and eventually just sheared right off. Now, it wasn't floating. It wasn't just dangling off there. There was still, I'm going to say about a third of that piece of metal that's underneath it there still tacked on to the rest of the unibody. So I ratchet strapped it up into place as best as I could and limped my way back down to staging area to air up and, limp my way home. And that was, let me tell you, Tony, a very, very interesting drive home.
I bet it was. So from what you're saying now, you already shared the pictures with me, and I'm sorry we don't have them for the show. I didn't think about it until I just made that statement. The unibody itself, the frame rail is what came apart.
Yes, in a way. So you have the sheet metal that when you look underneath the Jeep and you see the unibody, you look at what you would imagine is the frame rails. Mm-hmm. There is an additional piece of steel that's really not much bigger than, let's say a bread basket. It's only maybe about 18 inches or 24 inches long or something like that. And it's, just about as wide as the frame rail itself. And it has one lip on the inner side that actually it comes down, and it has two holes in it, which comprises of the factory track bar mount. It has two bolts that go up into just right underneath where the motor mount is on the driver's side, and then on the inside of the fender, you've got two more that go through it, and that metal comes up underneath and then follows down the frame rail down towards where the rocker is just a little bit. I mean, it's really literally only about 2 feet long, maybe less. And it's just another additional piece of metal I'm sure it was the factory, the engineer's idea of reinforcing that area because, a stock Jeep would have some additional shear forces in that area during some off-road use as the Jeep was stock. And on a stock Jeep, that probably would have been just fine. Now with a Jeep with 33 1250 tires, in some rocks, has a heavy-duty steering system that is not, standard steering geometry, and a more heavy-duty steering box, there's a lot more force in that area, that's really working that steel, and it just honestly, it wasn't designed to take that level of abuse. So, guys, here's a little tip for you. If you're planning a 1-ton steering system, if you are planning on doing some reinforcement or looking at an aftermarket track bar setup, I would highly recommend reinforcing that area first. Before you do anything else, reinforce that area. Now, C-Rock makes a great kit. Rough Stuff, I think, there's 100 manufacturers out there that make frame reinforcement specifically for the steering box area, both inside and out. And this is that area too. I know it's not right where the steering box itself mounts. It's just back and below that a little bit. But that whole area could use some reinforcement. So here's my plan. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it. And you guys can follow along with this whole thing. Please check out my build thread over at xjtalk.com. You can find me as NW99XJ. You can check out all the pictures and follow my progress as I do this. So I'm going to patch in where the steel actually tore away. I'm going to cut a piece out of my old bumper, which is the same thickness and gauge of steel. And I'm going to make a little template to fill in that one patch. And give myself a nice, flat, smooth area to build off of. And then the entire front and underside is all going to get plated in with 3/16-inch steel. And then I'll clean up the bracket that got sheared off, which is in good condition. It just needs to be cleaned up. Some of the other metal and the old welds cut off of it, cleaned up, and I'm going to weld that back onto the new 3/16-inch plate that's all in that area. And that should hold, especially with some holes cut in it, some nice rosette welds. That whole area will really get boxed in, strengthened up with some good thick steel, and I shouldn't have this problem ever again.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were going to do like some plug welds, but I think that's what the rosette welds are, isn't it?
Yep.
Basically,
yeah, so
plug welds.
There was a couple of small holes where the old spot welds had pulled through. They left a couple of small holes in the frame rail right there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I went ahead and did is I drilled in where I saw there's one tiny little stress fracture right there. I went ahead and drilled on that, because if anytime you see a stress crack, any kind of crack at all in your frame rail, you want to drill on both sides of it. And I'm talking, you get your drill, get a drill bit, doesn't have to be a big one, and just drill right at the end of where that crack is. And what that's going to do is it's going to prevent that crack from ever going any further. And then you weld in that whole area, grind in a little bit of a groove, weld in that area, grind it smooth, give it some paint for protection, you'll be good to go. And I had to do that in one little spot where some pinch welds had pulled through. It left a little bit of a hole in the frame rail, little tiny stress crack. I went ahead and drilled it, plug welded it, and ground it all down. And now I've got a nice clean platform. That's where I'm at right now. The Jeep is in the garage. I made it home after one hell of a death wobble experience. And that was a lot of fun, let me tell you. And got the Jeep home, started, taking the bracket, the wheel and tire off and everything else like that. Got it up on jack stands and all that. Cleaned up the area, cut off what I had to cut off, and ground everything down, did some welding and stuff. So now I'm at the point where all I have to do left is get in that patch piece and then start cutting my templates for the 3/16" steel, get that cut out, get that welded in, get my bracket put on, and I'm back on the trail.
Wow. Did you think about, you probably got a pretty good plan here, but just listening to it, I'm thinking, did you think about notching a section of the, it's the unibody, but it would it be correct to say frame rail? It's not really a frame. The part of the unibody that acts as the frame.
It's a big misconception, and we all think of frame. This is what comprises the backbone of the vehicle. So when we think of frame, it's a lot easier to say frame than it is to say unibody, anyways. So but when you're talking amongst XJ enthusiasts and off-road enthusiasts, you're talking about a Cherokee, and you say the word frame, everybody knows what you're talking about.
All right. Well, anyway, I'll say frame. Do you think about cutting a section out of the frame right there where it was pulling through, and actually putting some nice rectangular steel down the, up? I guess you may have to actually use pieces and weld them together and fit them in there, but actually make like a real frame, a real frame or something to attach to. Go down the unibody a bit and bolt it in, and up the unibody a bit and bolt it in. And then you could you could cover that section back up with the 3/16 inch metal, or just go straight to that new heavy duty section, and then you would never have this situation again. Or do you feel comfortable with what you're thinking about doing, really resolving that? I'm thinking that thin metal is not going to get any thicker. Even if you put stuff over the top of it, it's still going to be thin unless you have something substantial under there.
Here's the method behind my madness, and why I'm pretty sure this is going to work. Is really all my bracket was welded to before was one thickness of sheet metal, which really was no thicker than what's left of this pad of paper. Literally, we're talking less than or about a 1/16 of an inch.
That's a lot of stress.
Less than 60 thousandths of an inch or so is what we're talking about here. And you've got 1/4 inch steel, which unto itself is extremely strong. Like I said, the bracket was very resilient. The Panhard bar kit itself is just fine. The welds themselves were just fine. Everything was just fine, except for the metal that it was welded to. Yeah. And it was only that thin single piece of metal that sheared away. Now, if I was to do this all over again, honestly, what I would do is I would drill several holes through that one piece of metal, through the rest of the unibody, and through that frame rail and everything. Just drill right through that and then weld it all up. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a lot more stronger tie-in points through one bracket, through the rest of the unibody, and really keep all that together. Because I think what my problem is that there was only penetration on the weld through the one piece of metal. Now, had that weld actually gotten through more than one piece of metal, or all that metal was tied in together better, then this probably wouldn't have happened. So what I'm going to be doing is once I patch in that spot where the metal was torn out, now I've got a good solid piece area back in there. I'm going to drill some holes, It's going to get all that welded in through. So everything's going to get tied in together. And then the 3/16 is going to go on top of that and get welded through with a bunch of holes and everything. And this is not only going on the underside, and that's basically, and guys, you're going to have to please go check out my build thread on xjtalk.com. You guys can see the pictures. I actually had a gusset on the outside that was completely broken through, 1/4-inch steel, broken, just snapped in half, ripped in half, torn, sheared, whatever you want to call it. In any case, it was broken. That was on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 3/16 inch on both the outside and underneath. It's going to be like a big piece of angle iron right along that whole side of the frame right there. Now, obviously, it's not a full unibody, reinforcement or, unibody stiffener or anything like that, but it's going to be the next best thing. And the way that I'm going about it should create a lot of strength in that area. I'm going to take one extra step. I'm going to go one step further with this, and I'm going to tie in the track bar, the panhard bar, track bar. It's the same thing. I'm going to tie that in from the frame side on the driver's side over to the passenger side. Now, I have a bracket that came with my original aftermarket track bar that I got. It was the Rough Stuff track bar, adjustable track bar kit. It was a double shear kit that came with a unibody tie-in bracket, and that was going to tie in from the actual track bar where it mounts to the bracket to the passenger side frame rail. Now, mine didn't quite line up right, so I never used it. Well, since this is all custom anyways, I'm going to chop the thing up, make some adjustments to it, and actually make it work for my kit. Yeah. So not only am I going to have my steering box tied in from the driver's side to the passenger side, my track bar is going to be tied in from the driver's side to the passenger side as well.
Well, I have the Ironman Andy track bar, super heavy-duty track bar on mine, and it has provisions for that bar that goes across. Andy hasn't come out with that yet, but I can certainly see after this what's happened to you, that having that bar going all the way across over the passenger side frame rail would certainly have helped. Certainly would make it feel a lot stiffer whenever you're making those turns.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, looking back, I could definitely tell that this has been something that's been going on for a little while. I've noticed on the freeway a little bit of float in the front end, and just Jeeps wander by nature. You got a live axle, you got a 4-link suspension, coil suspension. The front end of Jeeps, they typically have a little bit of drift to them, a little bit of wander. Not a lot, especially when you're stock. When you start lifting these things up, you start messing with the suspension geometry and stuff like that, you're going to amplify, you're going to exacerbate that drift, that little bit of wander that the Jeeps have. And it's going to be severely amplified with the more lift and the more extreme you go with suspension modifications and stuff like that. So I had noticed it, but I didn't really pay no never mind to it because I figured, I've got 33-inch tall tires. I've got, tie rod set up. Maybe I'm just feeling a little bit of tie rod roll in this inverted T system that I've got going on. I figured there was a number of different, reasons that were adding up to this little bit of drift and float that I was feeling in the front end. And I didn't pay any attention to it, figuring, okay, it's just this, that, or the other thing. But when I was up on the trail and noticed that I'm having to take an 8-point turn to get around this corner, obviously something is wrong. And sure enough, guys, once you see the pictures, you're just going to cover your mouth and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Yeah, because it was some pretty good carnage, guys.
So let me just make sure the audience understands. A ratchet strap is not sufficient to keep death wobble from occurring.
Guys, a ratchet strap is not DOT approved.
But it's certainly spouse approved when she doesn't have to drive many miles to go pick up your ass.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I didn't have to call AAA or anything like that to get a rescue. I couldn't, man. I could not be more proud of my Jeep, honestly. With as much abuse as it's taken over the years, I mean, it got me home under its own power. I made it home safe. I was able to drive more than 25 miles an hour. I tell you though, once I came out of that staging area and I got on the freeway or the highway rather, heading home, and I was coming down the hill. I was like 25 miles an hour. I had my hazards on. Okay, it feels okay. I can still kind of steer a little bit. Okay, that's fine. 35 miles per hour. Okay, everything kind of feels still right. I still got some steering response. I'm waiting for any moment now for my steering to just completely go away, and that would have been fun. But okay, 45 miles per hour, pothole. Oh, geez. And, steering wheels going back and forth. And I could literally just feel the axle jumping back and forth underneath the vehicle. And I'm just, it was just let off the gas, slowly apply the brake. ease off onto the shoulder a little bit. It's just the whole way, steering wheel going back and forth like 90 degrees. It was one hell of a ride. So Tony recently posted up on the xjtalk.com YouTube page of a little bit of death wobble that was coming at him, in fact, not experiencing on his own. And I could only imagine that guy going through was probably the half of what I was experiencing, because the way that my axle was jumping around underneath the Jeep, I could only imagine what the people were seeing as they were coming towards me, seeing this big old XJ coming down the street with the axle just bouncing around underneath the rig. But it was a lot of fun. And that was really the only hairy moment throughout the rest of the ride. I kept a really good eye on what I was driving over. My speed never went really above 40, 45 miles an hour. I got home just fine. Took a little while longer, but the Jeep made it at home under its own power, and I couldn't be more proud of it.
That's amazing. Hey, quick break here. I'll tell you guys, you see the number crawling across the screen. I'll just remind you we are taking live calls. I apologize we didn't get to our one caller that was waiting patiently, and he disconnected. If you'd like to call back in, now's the time. So that number is 267-507-0240. 267-507-2040, and then you'll put in the conference code 219835. 219835. Yeah, I would say that has to be an interesting experience, Josh. And now I'm kind of seeing the benefit of a onboard welder having the ability to weld on the trail, and even if it's not for your rig, you'd probably have several new best friends.
Now, I'm going to give you guys just a quick tip. If you guys don't want to, shell out I think $300 for the entry-level Ready Welder kit, which is basically just a little tool kit. It's a welder that, runs off of a single battery. It's a little water feed MIG welder, handheld. It will work in a pinch. You know what will work I'm not going to say even better, but even cheaper is 2 batteries, two pairs of jumper cables, and some welding rod. And you get yourself a nice 24-volt welding system that honestly can weld together just about anything. You got the right welding sticks. You got 2 good batteries, meaning a battery out of your rig, a battery out of a buddy's rig, something like that. You pull them out of the vehicles. You hook them up in series with a set of jumper cables, and you ground one with one set of jumper cables. You got a pair of vice grips and another pair of jumper cables, and your welding rod in the other, and you can tack something together. I've seen it done on the trail. It does work. And if you need something in a pinch, guys, you don't have the money for a Ready Welder, go down to your local welding supply shop, get some welding sticks, carry a couple pairs of jumper cables with you. All you need after that is a couple pairs of batteries, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, like I said, I can see how that would be a much... I'd still be nervous driving it home, but after seeing the carnage that you had, but that would be a lot better than a ratchet strap. Maybe a quick weld and a ratchet strap, and some JB Weld if you've got it.
I was just gonna say, I really thought about slapping up some JB Weld under there, but it was muddy, it was wet. I was fairly certain the JB Weld really wasn't going to do a whole lot for me.
Yeah. but still.
But the thought crossed my mind. I was like, I don't know if I've got enough duct tape for this.
Duct tape, baling wire, anything that keeps me from dying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny. Guys will go through all kinds of, like we're making fun of the JB Weld, the duct tape and everything like that, but guys will go through those kind of repairs. Anything that keeps them from having to call a tow truck. And I don't know if it's simply pride of your vehicle getting you there and back, or all the ribbon that you're going to get because your Jeep couldn't make it back home.
Yeah, I'm really glad that mine made it back home. So, like I said, I couldn't be more proud of my XJ.
Well, Josh, I am off tomorrow. I am taking
look at you having a 3-day weekend.
I'm taking a PTO day, and I'm going to go out on a limb here because I'd already said I got these ball joints to install, and I've had them probably a good month now, and haven't done it yet. Well, the PTO day is for installing ball joints.
Very good, man. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully all the ball joint talk that we've had over the last several months is giving you some pointers, and hopefully your install goes nice and smooth.
Yeah, and if you guys don't recall, I have a nice set of Synergy. I think I said that right. Ball joints. Josh got the Alloy USA ball joints, and installed those, and you haven't had any problems with those, right?
One. And so I've got 2 wheeling trips on them, and a couple of 100 miles at least, a freeway if not more. And honestly, it's just great. I love them. It really, really improved the whole feel of my front end compared to the very, very worn out stock ones that I had in there before. Guys, I'm sure Tony's going to give the same review, but if you're looking for a set of ball joints, you need an upgrade. I got mine through Amazon.com. I suggest you do too. Alloy USA. Get those ball joints. It's a great deal on a great set of 4 ball joints, upper and lower, both sides. I think the price right around now is about $150.
Yep. Hey, and I was going to continue with my ball joint talk, but we got a couple of callers. Let me get to the first one here.
Fantastic.
Let me unmute them first and then go over here.
And while Tony's doing that, guys, I'm going to give you the call-in number, too. And if you guys are listening to the podcast and aren't joining in on the live show that we broadcast on YouTube every Thursday at 10 p.m. Central Time, I highly encourage you guys to call in next week when we do the show at area code 267-507-0240. And you're going to need to jot down this entry code. It's a little code that hooks us up directly to the XJ Talk Show. It's 219-835.
Hey, well, thanks for calling the XJ Talk Show. Who do we have on the line?
This is Heart Theft, pretty sure. That's
yeah,
my
I'm
name.
pretty sure it is.
A podcast? Yes, it is.
All right.
Well, thanks for calling in, Eric. How you doing, man? I'm pretty sure that those dice that we found on our Amazon You Bought What list were yours. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, both pairs, the set of 100 plus and the steampunk set.
Very cool. So what's the steampunk kit like? Is it just black and white? Because that's about the only description that we had. Is there anything more to it than that?
Yeah, it has like gears and cogs on it. I'll post pictures up on my build thread, even though that's not really where it goes. But whatever.
So doesn't that kind of throw the dice off? Does it always come up 1s or 7s now? I mean, it's not loaded dice, is it?
Loaded dice with gears and cogs.
You can buy rigged dice from where I bought it.
So what's going on with your Jeep? We need some Jeep talk here. We don't want anybody jumping in and telling us that we need more Jeep stuff.
It's a Jeep podcast, fellas.
The Jeep's been running pretty well. It was overheating for a while. It was actually my Wrangler that had the concrete in the mesh area behind the grill.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, I think it was either last episode or the one before that I had mentioned, and it was Heart Theft's XJ or Wrangler rather that had the concrete stuck up in it, and I guess I had misspoke a little bit. I misunderstood the information that I had read. I thought it was a Cherokee, but it was a Wrangler. And I don't think it was actually inside the radiator itself. It was just on the backside of it and got everything all gummed up and wasn't getting the airflow through it. Is that right?
Yeah, it was just a layer of concrete caked on the, I don't know what the part's called, but the mesh area behind the grill, and it was thick enough that air couldn't come through.
Yeah, once you get a bunch of stuff on the fins, that's just like a air insulator, and it's not going to be good for cooling off the water that's running through those jackets. So, yeah. I can see that. So,
quick question for you then. Did you just go with an OEM replacement? Did you put a nice, aluminum 3-core radiator in there? What did you go with as far as replacement goes on that?
When we took it into the dealership, they actually told us that they would try to chip off and power wash off all of the concrete. And if they accidentally put a hole through it, they'd replace it.
Oh, okay, good.
But right now it's the same.
I was laughing because I didn't think they had a snowball's chance of hell of not damaging that thing.
I was gonna say you get enough pressure washer to knock loose some concrete. You're probably gonna knock loose some radiator too.
What year Wrangler is it?
It's a 2010 JK.
Oh,
I'm working on getting a TJ sometime soon though.
Oh, how come? We have a TJ here, and I love it. But why the switch? You trying to get out of a payment, or maybe get into something a little more rugged?
No, I'm gonna get a TJ for rock crawling and off roading, and the JK is gonna be my to and from work vehicle.
Yeah, that's a true Jeep fan there. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, is the JK modified at all?
No, it's sitting on 30-inch tires, but it still has the stock suspension and everything.
So you're going to leave it that way then, and just have it as your daily driver.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I might go with like maybe a 2-inch disc or so, just make it look cooler.
Yeah, there we go.
That's about it.
Budget boost, that wouldn't hurt nothing. A couple pucks underneath it or something, a little bit like that, and maybe step up to some 31s or some 32s. You'd be good to go.
I just wanted to see if he's going to be honest with us, because I don't think anybody can drive a Jeep without lifting it a little bit.
At least a little bit.
A little bit.
And throw a hockey puck under it.
Yeah, you want to be able to drive over the hockey pucks.
Right. Well, cool. Thanks for calling in, Hart Theft. Really appreciate it. Hopefully next week we can get you back on, and we'll have another little chit-chat with you. Sound good?
He says it sounds good.
Very good. Do we have another caller, Tony? Do we want to get to that as well?
Yeah, we do. Hey, thanks for calling the XJ Talk Show. Who do we have on the line?
It's Harry Franco.
Harry Franco. So I think I saw you in the movie This Is the End, right?
I think that was James Franco.
Oh, no. Okay, we'll let you talk anyway.
Harry Franco with Hidden Wounds XJ.
Yeah, I know. I was just giving you a hard time, man. How you healing up?
I'm just about there. I'm good. I picked me up an XJ today.
You did? Is this for the Hidden Wounds XJ project, or is this for your own purposes?
For the project.
Fantastic. What did you get?
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, just when we're starting to get to the good stuff. Harry, go step outside real quick. We're getting a little bit of a better cell area. We're starting to lose you, buddy.
How's this?
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Quick, tell us what.
Yeah, it's got a 4-liter. It's got a blown head gasket. Hopefully, picked it up for $500.
What year is it?
96.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Got close to the good years.
Bone stock hasn't been molested yet.
Oh, that's nice.
Is it in pretty good condition overall, other than the mechanical side of things?
Looks like it. These guys that I got it from, they bought it down in Southern California, and as soon as they get on the freeway, it overheated.
Oh, that's not good.
Tow it the rest of the way.
Well, do you have? You just got it today, so I'm seeing on your Facebook page. It looks like I'm seeing a picture of a flatbed truck hauling away or unloading, at least maybe a white XJ. Would that be the one for the project that I'm seeing here?
That's it. They were dropping it off.
Fantastic. Actually looks pretty good, man. Yep. So if you guys please head over to facebook.com/Hidden Wounds XJ, and you guys can follow along with this as well. And got ourselves a project. So now we're one step closer to getting this thing going and heading out to some of the shows and everything. And we highly encourage you guys to head over there and show your support. Pick up some of the stickers that they have for sale. You got to purchase them there through PayPal, but they've got some great multicolor stickers. I got a great American flag with a Cherokee crawling up on a rock right there, and some other decals as well that you guys can pick up. All the proceeds go to help out with the build for this project. It's a very good cause, and we highly encourage you guys to hook up.
Yeah, Josh just told us a lot about it, but Harry, you got anything to add about the Hidden Wounds project?
Well, I'm really considering becoming a nonprofit. I've already assembled a board, and we're probably going to do, as soon as we get this build done, we're going to, and ready to start going and showing it, we're probably going to take on other projects like veterans with Jeeps and hooking it up for them.
So let everybody know, if you can briefly, what the XJ project's about.
Okay, a lot of the veterans are coming back with post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury. Myself, I have post-traumatic stress disorder, and this is going to be also healing for me to do this project, to go out and spread the word about the signs and symptoms about PTSD and TBI, because there's actually 22 veterans a day committing suicide because of these. And I want to do my part and lower that number. So I'm going to go take this XJ, once it's built, to car shows, off-road events, military and veteran events, and educate the public on the signs and symptoms. You know, everybody knows somebody that's deployed, you know, so educate the public, see the signs, and prevent the suicides.
Great. That's great. And I know we always tell you, but I want to say it again. Thank you for your service, and I'm sorry that you had to bring that back home with you. And I'm sure nobody's sorrier than yourself. But stick with it, man. I hope you're getting some help to get through that. And I'm sure actually trying to do something to help other people is probably helping you too. Yes,
it will.
All right, Harry. Thanks a lot for calling in, and we want to remind everybody that we're going to be trying to have the live calls every episode now. So if you didn't get a chance to call in tonight, please think about getting, I don't know, liquid courage or whatever it is that you need to call in for next week.
It doesn't take much, guys. As you can tell, all you need is a little bit of a story. All right, just call in and say hi, BS with us for a little bit. We'll get you up on the air.
Well, let's jump over to our voicemails, Josh. We got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show. We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
Hey, this is Nikki G. And I just caught the promo for the show and saw that you guys had live call-ins, which I'm glad, and I wish I could have participated. But I'm also a little perturbed that guys are pretty racist with the live call-ins.
I know Josh
is.
is.
The undead deserve a voice. I would like to invite all the zombies, vampires, werewolves, and aliens, both legal and illegal kind. So call in XJ Talk and voice your opinion. All right, guys, I'll chat you later. Have a good one. Bye.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb. We need to get Nikki G on an interview. I think he works when the show's on, so we couldn't have him live. That would be my first choice, because we'd have a lot of potty jokes are always a winner type things.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would like to hear the Nikki G story.
Yeah, we need to hear the Nikki G story. So one of us needs to make the contact and do the interview. So, and here's our second but short Nikki G voicemail.
Taking good. The auto Jeep bad.
So
that must be the zombie version of Nikki G.
That was the moon came out and the zombie overtook Nikki G. All right, well, let's do some reviews. We do have one, Josh. I'll let you the honors.
Well, it's got an expletive in there, so I'm just going to say awesome S by ZRT90XJ. Hey, I just found the show this week, and it's been stuck in my ear for 3 days. It gives me something to look forward to on Thursday. You guys are awesome. Well, thank you very much, ZRT90XJ. That review came from, I'm sorry, Tony, was that Stitcher or iTunes?
That's iTunes, and Josh, that's 5 stars.
That's 5 stars.
5-star review. You know, you need to get your mind out of the gutter.
Well, you know, I get my mind's got a voice talks like a sailor, I guess. So 5-star review then, nonetheless. Oh, we love it. Thank you very much for that, guys. If you're listening through iTunes, you know somebody who uses iTunes, they got an iPod, whatever. turn them onto the podcast. You yourself, if you're listening to this right now, pop over to iTunes, give us that 5-star review, leave us a little review. We're bound and determined to put it up on the show. And if you have some constructive criticism, guys, we love that too. Please let us know how we're doing. We'd like to hear from you.
Hey, this part of the show, we also like to call it the end part, is brought to you by Audible.com. If you like podcasts, there's a good chance you'll also like audiobooks, especially if you're busy like we are and don't have time to read those pesky books. Words and vowels and, who has time? Audible.com has over 150,000 titles across any imaginable topic, from sci-fi to fiction, fantasy, and yes, they even have some Jeep stuff too. To get you started, the XJ Talk Show has you hooked up. You go to audibletrial.com/XJ Talk Show and instantly get one free title of your book of your choice. That's right, anything you want for free. Who says you can't get something for nuttin'? Is that nuttin'? That's nuttin'.
Nuttin'.
Thanks, Audible. That's audibletrial.com/XJ Talk Show.
We'd like to ask you guys to please visit the Hidden Wounds XJ Facebook page. Please friend them and pick up some of their stickers to help support their cause. Really enjoy getting behind those kind of efforts, guys. And if you've got something like that going on, you got an event going on, anything like that that's Jeep related, or hey, you just want to go ahead and promote your business or something like that, you're a fan of the show, we encourage you guys to call in, drop us a line. If nothing else, leave us a voicemail on our 24/7 voicemail line at 530-675-4102. 24/7 voicemail line. Nobody's going to answer the phone. 3 minutes to say whatever you want to say.
Yep. And we don't even care if it's clean or dirty, because it just takes a little more editing. Put those bleeps in. But, those bleeps are pretty funny. Hey, a quick shout out to our some of our folks in our live YouTube area. Harry Franco, you heard him on the phone a few minutes ago. Heart Theft. Derek, looks like Snipenich. And Harry Franco again. Dean Murray. Hey, Dean. Dean is now a Texas resident. He is up in College Station.
And he actually posted up an awesome video about his XJ and a detachable, removable windshield. In fact, it's some really cool stuff over on his YouTube channel as well. Please check out Dean Murray.
Did he post that up on xjtalk.com? I've been really busy at work. I haven't had time to look at much.
Well, it's definitely on his YouTube channel. I've subscribed to his YouTube channel as well. And, of course, anytime he posts up something, well, I get the notification. And, guys, you've got to check out that Cherokee. We're going to be doing an interview with him very soon in the near future. So you guys can look forward to that coming up very soon.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to be out on the trail to do the interview, because I'd like to, once I get the lockers put in there, which I think I told everybody, I do now have both front and rear lockers not installed yet, like most of my items that are just laying around here. Not installed yet, but I do have them. But I think it'd be fun to follow Dean on the trail. And I said follow because
if you could.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as it doesn't look too scary, I might take some Depends with me.
There you go. Guys, please check us out on Facebook as well. We are on Twitter as well. Stitcher Radio, TuneIn.com, iTunes, YouTube, and, of course, the entire show archive over at xjtalkshow.com. And this is why we're here, guys. The wonderful, most premier Jeep site on the web, xjtalk.com. I highly encourage you guys to go check that out. You like the show? Well, help us out. Be sure to tell a friend.
Don't forget about giving us reviews on iTunes as well. Anyway, guys, have a great Jeep week.
We'll see you.
My name's fucking Audrey, kid. Red Jeeps are sexy. And you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Okay, so that's our show. And hit stop right here. And we are now officially in the post show, and I'm going to open up the phone lines. So if you guys want to call back in and everybody talk at the same time, you can. As soon as let's see, I need to do the.
I think I'm unmuted, right?
Conference unmuted. Conference unmuted.
God damn, stop it. There we go. So now, you're unmuted, and anybody that calls in, because this is a conference call line that we were able to make use as a call-in line, because as we've mentioned before, Josh and I are cheap. We have Jeeps, so we have to be. So
I'll argue with each other now.
Exactly.
Hey, you got me. Yeah.
So
your blinker next time when you want to talk.
Yeah. So anyway, what we've done is we've used this conference line so that everybody, we mute people as they come in. I mean, it automatically mutes, and then we unmute whenever you're going to come on the show. So what I've done now is I've turned that feature off, so it'll be just like a conference call. So anybody that calls in right now, you'll be in the post show, and you're going out live on YouTube. And I'm going to take Jeep Freak back off mute because he wouldn't shut the hell up while I was talking.
Oh.
I have the power. All right. So come on, guys, call in. Let me see. I guess I can put the number back up. I took that down when we stopped taking calls.
And if I'm not overly talkative, it's because I'm just creating our script for our promo that we'll be releasing after the show.
Yeah, and since I'm off tomorrow, I'm probably going to get all the promo stuff done tonight. And
there you go.
I didn't get to mention it because I noticed the time. We were getting close to that 1 hour mark. But I'm going to try to do 2 things, maybe 3. I've got this 44-inch LED light bar that I haven't installed yet. But I do have the metal, at least for the brackets that are going to go on the A-pillars. I just need to take the time to get the cardboard, cut it, then cut the brackets, bend them, find out what the distance is going to be between the two, and then get a appropriate piece of metal to go between the 2 brackets. It would be a lot of fun to have that. I bet you I've had this light bar for 3 months now, maybe 2.
I was going to say, it's got to be at least a couple of months.
I mean, there's people that I'm waiting to sterilize so they can't procreate. And with the 3 LED light bars I have, the 4 I will have, I should certainly be able to do that. Oh, he's listening on the YouTube at the same time. I hear it coming across the phone.
I thought I heard something in the background there.
Let me turn it down.
Please.
That's not me.
That's like a 30-second delay, I think, too.
Yeah, mine's still got you guys talking too on my YouTube.
Yeah, we don't.
Howdy, y'all. How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, doing good. Who is that?
This is Dean Murray.
Hey, Dean. So what do you think?
Josh, Tony, how are you?
What do you think about College Station?
College Station is fantastic down here. I really I can appreciate the laid-back environment. It's not as country as Alabama, but it has quite a bit of potential, I guess I could say.
Quite a bit of country potential, are you saying?
Quite a bit of potential on a lot of levels. I'm excited to get out and explore a lot of the off-road parks and get riding some people. I've been kind of networking in the off-road groups here recently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. It's not Marble Falls. At least I don't think it is. There's a park up towards your area that Matt M. Smorenberg on XJ Talk really likes, and he keeps telling me we don't want to go to the ones that are here close by. We want to go up to those because it's more rocky. He says he doesn't want to do any kind of mud or any kind of things that stick to the vehicle anymore. So. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'm kind of more of a mud type person from way back when, but you guys like the rocks, and as long as I don't scratch my baby, I'm okay.
Oh, please. You got to take the play, Tony.
I don't mind mud at all.
Say that again?
Talk to him, Josh. I tell you, mud is not my game. If it's something I have to go through, I'm fine with it, but I'm all about crawling on slick sandstone boulders and tire placement and wheel speed. I think that's the name of the game.
Well, I figure I'm going to have to try it eventually. There's too many people that enjoy it. And once I get Matt's supposed to install those lockers for me. We're actually going to do it together. We just got to find a time that I can drive over there to his shop in Conroe and install them. But I guess with the front and rear ARB lockers, I got to do something besides sit in traffic with it.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you guys see
No,
that?
you didn't.
Yeah, I was driving down the highway, actually, from my house down to Chico to go, I think it was going to school, actually. Going down there, and there's this guy. He is smashing in this big Suburban thing. Big old, really long cab Suburban, probably good for about maybe 4 or 5 people. And he's going down. I'm like, man, he better slow down. That turn's only rated for like 45, maybe 50. He's probably doing about 85, 90. He takes that turn, and the moment he hits it, he just rolls it. He rolls the thing, and it goes across 2 lanes of traffic into oncoming, and then slams head on into somebody else's car coming at him. And I was like, oh, man. And we all have to skid on our brakes. We're all trying to stop. And it was bad. He just totaled his car. He rolled that sucker and just smashed into some poor lady. And she gets out, obviously shaking. He's stuck in his car. We're all dialing 911. 911 shows up in probably about 30 seconds. And they have us sit there for over 30 minutes on the freeway. And I'm like, all right, look, I'm the only 4x4 I see for probably about a mile. Can I just go? I can get around all this stuff. If I have to, I'll crush over his truck, It's already not going anywhere. It's probably going to the junkyard anyway. And they're like, no, you got to stay here. And I was like, oh, man. But, He got out, they got him out, and he was like, oh, man, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. You didn't know. I'm just thinking to myself, you obviously don't know how to, obey a speed limit very well. At the very least, slow down.
Do you figure he was...
That sucker's lifted up. I'm like, man, you just totaled yourself.
Do you figure he was drinking? Did you get any kind of indication that it was under the influence?
I think he was just in a hurry. It looked like he was just in a hurry because he goes through this corner, he's dipping through traffic around people, and then just rolls it right around the corner. Right around the corner. And I'm like, oh, well, we all saw that because before it even happened, me and about 4 other cars just slammed on our brakes because we knew it was about to happen. We had that feeling, and then he just rolls it, and we're like, well, saw that coming. I look at the guy next to me, he looks at me, and we just kind of give that, yep, we knew it.
So on the plus side, he was actually able to send that text before he rolled it. I heard.
Yeah, most definitely. He's probably sending a text like, "Hang on, crashing. Let me take a selfie real quick."
Yeah, selfie would be great. Yeah, you don't want to be on one of those commercials that they use to do the anti-texting campaign where you only have half the text. If you can complete the text and then die, then at least they can't use it in the commercial.
That's all right. At least we knew what you were trying to say.
My dad said I could never accomplish any, and then it goes dead. That you don't want that. So.
Yeah, I thought I'd give an update too. Actually, with my whole liver problems and stuff, I'm actually doing pretty well now. They've been doing some tests and stuff. I'm going to see a GI doctor on the 19th to find out where the internal bleeding's coming from. But other than that, they found that my liver is in good condition now. It's running about 75% of what it should be.
So you can start drinking heavily anytime now.
Oh, yeah. If I want to, I could smash this huge Jaeger bottle if I wanted to. But they've advised me against it. Says maybe you should let it recuperate. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should.
Josh is ashamed to be associated with me.
I was like, I heard Jägermeister. I was like, huh?
Yeah, but my fiance would kill me if I started drinking. So she's like, nope, you're gonna let that thing get back to normal. But they did some stuff with my gallbladder.
Probably for the best anyway.
I guess they feel like the gallbladder's not working all the way. So they did a big HINA-scan thing that took over 2.5 hours. I had to sit there. Man, did I have to pee by the end of that.
I bet.
Terrible.
So I'm sorry to hear about the internal bleeding. I thought that was all taken care of, but it sounds like you still got a little bit of something going on the inside, huh?
Yeah, they found some internal bleeding. They don't know where though, because apparently internal bleeding in your GI tract looks like a bunch of bodily ejections. So. Right. They were like, well, we can't really tell what's what. I'm like, well, I can tell you where it's not. And they were like, oh, yeah, where? And I was like, not where any of that shadow is. So they were like, oh, well, that's a given. And I'm like, yeah, well, apparently I can read the same thing you can. Dark is not good. Light is good.
Yeah.
Right.
they were trying to find it. Now they got to do some. What was that test called, babe? Something about. It's just they're going to probably have to do a colonoscopy. Not a very fun thing.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I haven't gone through one of those myself, but I work with a guy who likes to pretend that he likes to give those out on occasion. So, but no, I'm in all seriousness, I know that's not a pleasant experience, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck there.
I heard recently with Obamacare, before the colonoscopy, they have to buy you dinner.
Nice little,
yes,
update.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Hey, I've wanted to ask this. I've wanted to ask this question. If they, yeah, oh, that would be good. Hey, I wanted to ask you this question when Josh was reporting about your health issues. You were on that medication for like 7 years. Now they were aware that there was a possibility that
they want is 3.
That they were aware that this could cause problems. So I'm assuming that it was just that serious that they needed you on the medication for that much longer.
No, it was mostly because at the time I was not old enough to consent to my own medical stuff, because I started when I was 16, and then due to I guess what I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's like a California law that if your parents deem you because I'm autistic, so they were like, well, he's not smart enough to do his own stuff, but he's smart enough to live on his own. Well, I was like, no, this kind of hurts. I want to stop. So my mom, having the magic pill. She thinks everything's a magic pill pretty much. There's always a magic pill for everything to fix anything.
Right.
Was like, nope, keep him on it. Well, he can make his own decision. Well, no, technically he can't. So then she'd go through this legal jargon, and then they didn't want to do the disability thing. So technically I couldn't do anything without her permission due to California crappy law. So then finally, once I was like, all right, look, I'm 21, I'm done. And I just stopped. What's she going to do, pretty much?
Right.
So they were like, yeah, about time. Come in for your 6 months. Every 6 months, do a test, blah, blah, blah. We'll do a blood test, check everything that's good. So I hadn't been able to get around to it because my XJ had been pretty much on the fritz, and I'd been trying to get her working for about a month and a half. So after 3 months of a month and a half's work, I finally got it going, went down there, and they're like, oh, all right, do the test. It should be coming back clean. Oh, cool, whatever. Do it up. All right. They don't contact me for like 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, they usually tell me, okay, everything's clean. Well, I called them up, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, well, we found some problems with your testing. Oh, yeah, what? They got high cholesterol? No. We realized that your liver is not really functioning very well. Oh, yeah, and your kidneys are showing that you've got some protein in there, which means your kidneys aren't doing very well. Oh. At this point, I'm like, okay, what is that? And they're like, well, that's the beginning stages of liver and kidney failure. I was like, well, isn't a little bit okay? They're like, well, not the amount you've got. I mean, apparently, once it's detectable with protein, it's not a very good. I mean, it was a massive amount. They were like, you're literally getting to the point where you may need a transplant. And I was like, what? I was like, but I've been feeling fine. They're like, you can feel fine. They said, you had any jaundice or anything? I said, well, my eyes got a little bit yellower, but I thought that was more from allergies. And they said, no, that, I mean, we saw when you came in and you got a little mild case of jaundice. And I was like, oh. So they went through some serious testing, did some blood work, did Hep C stuff, even though I don't have it, it's just to rule it out kind of thing, because Hep C causes jaundice, all that good stuff. Tested all that, came back negative, and then about 2 days after I got another initial test done, I started realizing I have internal bleeding for reasons I'd rather not go into on the air, obviously.
Okay.
But let's just say it wasn't a very pleasant experience. So I called them up, and I'm like, hey, internal bleeding, what's going on? You need to go to the hospital. Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's kind of my second thought was I probably should go to the hospital.
We're glad you
go
called.
To the hospital. They check me. They're like, there's definitely blood in there. And I'm like, thanks, because, I could tell. I couldn't see the massive amounts of blood. And what do you think it was? And I'm like, dude, I work at a blood donation center. That was probably a good pint. So they do all this testing, and then I tell them all the background, and the doctor goes, oh, it's just constipation. What? You're constipated. That's where the blood came from. I said, dude, that was a pint of blood. There is no constipation there. And he was like, well, we're just going to send you home. So I go home, and what happens? More. I get more internal bleeding, and it gets even worse. So now they're like, well, we might have to hospitalize you, but let's send you in for some testing. So they test me with the HIDA scan and stuff, my gallbladder, all that good stuff. So now I'm waiting for those test results, but it's been about 3 weeks and they haven't called me.
Oh, gee.
So they're probably still looking at it at this point, which worries me a little bit because normally within about, she said, if nothing's wrong, we'll call you in a week, and it's been about 3 weeks. So
it should be the other way around.
At this point.
It should be the other way around. If nothing's wrong, we'll call you when we get around to it. If something's wrong, we'll call you right away. That's what they should say. Well,
yeah, that's
so
what I was thinking. I was like, shouldn't you call me in a couple of days if you know something's wrong? Well, no, we're gonna. If something's wrong, we want to do further testing and get more doctors involved. I'm like, oh, that's great. Next, you're gonna tell me I have AIDS out of nowhere, or I'm gonna have some crazy dolphin disease. I'm turning into a monkey. I don't know. Because now you got like 50,000 different, you got all these people, different doctors going, well, I think he's got this. Well, I think he's got this. Well, let's put them all together, and he's got some mega disease.
Yeah, well, I know.
I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, I know you're still young, but take the horse's reins because it's your life. Get informed and to make the best decisions you can. At least, I'm sorry you're going through all this stuff, but it sounds like maybe things are actually getting better than what they were before. So. We're gonna think good thoughts for you, and hope to hear more from you here, more positive things from you here soon.
My jaundice is going away, still a little bit, but it's still a little bit there.
So it looks like we've. I know we've got. I'm sorry, Jeep Freak. I think I know we've got 3 people called in. I know one of them's Dean. Who's the other one?
I think it's Heart. Is it Heart Theft?
Yeah,
what's up?
Okay. All right. I just want to give everybody the opportunity to jump in there and chat if they wanted to. I don't know. Were you called in last week when Amber had called in, Josh?
Well, I was here for a brief moment while she called in and was like, "Oh, I didn't think anybody could hear me or see me or anything," and then hung up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought that was funny. And since she had called in before, I knew who she was because I had marked it on the on the screen. So I thought that was pretty funny. She'll never call in again.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, guys. Well, look, I really appreciate it. Dean, nice hearing from you, Jeep Freak, and everybody that called in during the regular part of the show. So we're going to wrap it up on here on the post show. So Josh, before Josh melts completely away, I don't know if you guys are still watching the video feed, but he's fanning himself and daubing himself with a sponge with a SpongeBob celebrity sponge, and so I'm going to take some pity on him. I'm doing okay, even though I got this bright light heating me up. I turned the air conditioner down.
I've got one too.
So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. You
Drew,
guys.
I would just like to say thanks for everybody who's calling in. Really appreciate it, guys. Hope to hear from you again next week.
Yeah, call in during the show. Damn it! I mean, this is going to be in the YouTube stream, but it won't be in the regular podcast. But we'd like to hear from you guys. It's a lot of fun getting you guys involved in the show and hearing from you. So, going to wrap it up here. Say goodnight to everybody, and we'll catch you next week.
See you guys.